Let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safer Liquid Beer for the podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful. That cake's hot.
All right, we are back. The internet kicked out at the exact same time as it did yesterday. I remember that this sounds ridiculous, but remember the last time this happened for like a week and it was a damaged line? I feel like the line is damaged again.
Yeah,
because it's the exact same thing that happened.
The duct tape that was holding it together.
Whatever, Roger. This just in,
off.
Rogers, your internet sucks. We got to get this sorted out because this can't happen again. Like, yeah, the line was damaged last time. What's the answer this time? What's going on? I'm furious right now.
Well, what was the fix?
Well, we're streaming off my Bell phone again.
No, to the line, I'm saying. You know
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know what they
kinda...
fixed. I don't know what happened, but Rogers' internet sucks. We're going to have to find a solution.
I wanted to get to Golden Palace with Macramalla as well.
Somebody said we're at the Habs talk. They couldn't take it. They shut it down. Is Macramalla still there? Did he hang around for us? Let's bring him back in for a couple minutes. We're trying to reconnect with Macramalla here. He was in the middle of talking about this juicy little playoff race between the Sens and the Habs. We'll see if Macramalla's... He's not there? Okay. It's fine. We wouldn't have had time with him anyway. So that's okay. All right, we got to get to a sports update because we got jam-packed third hour of the show again. We apologize for the technical difficulties. I'm going to go to Rogers and wring somebody's neck later today after the show.
Got to take a number first.
I think that's the point where it's probably at now. Kind of easy trivia. If you want to play kind of easy trivia right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. If you want to play, text Trev right now, 780-218-9999. We've got coming up in hour number 3, Greg Wyshynski's going to join us. Apparently, Wyshynski on Jeff Merrick's show yesterday said that he's not 100% sure McDavid's going to re-sign in Edmonton.
I didn't listen to it, but I read it.
What is this about?
He thinks he will. Spoiler alert.
Oh.
But
what?
He lays out a case.
All right.
It's not signed yet.
Okay, well, we'll get to it with Greg Wyshynski just after 8:30 today. Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power. Before that, 3 questions too many, the Marmot Basin Snow Report, and the wrap for William Huff. And, if you want to play kind of easy trivia, text us right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Let's get to a sports update right now for Windsor Plywood down in Leduc.
Oilers and Wild tonight down in Minnesota. It's one of 2 games as Edmonton kicks off a 3-game road trip. Tom Gazzola will get you set with your GCL Diesel pregame show. Coverage starts at 5:30 here on EST. You can join Tommy and Hernan following tonight's game with the GCL Diesel postgame show. Other action last night saw the Stars win 8 of 9 now after a 4-1 victory over the Leafs. The Kraken doubling up the Penguins 4-2. Washington would shut out Anaheim 3-0. St. Louis over Calgary 2-1. The Golden Knights, they've lost 3 of 4 following a 5-3 loss to the Preds. Kyle Connor with a natural hat trick. Jets smoked the Canucks 6-1. Devon Taves with the overtime winner. Avs over the Rangers 3-2. And it was the Habs topping Utah 5-3. The Oil Kings embark on a 3-game road trip of their own beginning tonight in Swift Current against the Broncos. Edmonton are 5 points back of first in the Dubs Central Division. Raptors are at home to the Celtics tonight, one of 11 games around the NBA. Felix Auger-Aliassime second-round action earlier today at the Australian Open. He was bounced by Spaniard Alejandro Davidovich. Gabriel Diallo and Denis Shapovalov will both take part in second-round action later this evening. And over to the Golf League last night, Los Angeles Golf Club thumping Tiger Woods' Jupiter Links GC 12-1. Your final action will resume again Tuesday when New York takes on Atlanta. Sports Update brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc. Locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since 1993. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc.
I am a Zach High man with the Leafs I used to ride, with Austin Matthews by my side. I scored a couple and I had a little fun. Signed with the Oilers in July of 21. The Leafs let me walk because they thought I had no soul. Now I'm over 50 goals. I am the dangler from way across the other side, where Beamers and Audis are supplied. Third overall in the draft 2014. Got a one-timer like the game has never seen. Bottom of the circle is the place where I get set. It's going in the net. I'm Nugent Hopkins. I was born in 93. All the way from Burnaby. Played some junior for Red Deer and had a ball. Signed with the Oilers when I went first overall. My two-way game, they said, is totally complete. The best in the league. The best in the league. The league. The league. The league. I'm Connor McDavid. I'm sure you've all seen my work. I'm not from this planet Earth. I'm deadly serious when I'm telling you what's up. My soul, it will not rest until we hoist the cup. Do what it takes through all the struggle and the pain, till just the oil remains. And we're gonna win again and again and again.
Been a while since we had that one. Decided to mix it in here on a game day against the Minnesota Wild. If that doesn't get you fired up, Dallas from Nielson, I mean, nothing will. Nothing will get you more fired up than that song. God, that was good.
The Dairy King of Nielson, BC. Hey?
Can you imagine getting that during a playoff run again? Like hitting that song as kicking off a conference final or something? My goodness, that would be terrific. You hope to see it. You hope to see it. All right, you can text us anytime. Paris Jewelers inbox. Visit their website, parisjewelers.com. Do not pay until 2026 with some of their flexible financing options. The Nielsen Show is brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet, www.southfortchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot. 2025 Silverado 1500 Custom Crew available right now with payments as low as $150 bi-weekly. Uh-oh, Maddie's going to hate that. I received someone else's Nasty Club swag in the mail. Maddie's so good at keeping this stuff organized.
Close to perfection,
that's
but
gonna
not there.
drive
Yeah.
him nuts.
Yeah.
That is going to drive him absolutely bonkers. We're coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio today. They have that new value menu on $4 items. You got to check that out at Popeyes.
If you're having a staff or work meeting.
Yeah,
Right?
coming down the pipe, that'd be something that you would you would look at for sure. All right, Trev, who's going to play kind of easy trivia today?
Tony's going to give it a go.
Tony's going to play kind of easy trivia today.
Yeah.
All right, Tony. For Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever. I do suggest, if you've never been to Mr. Mike's, go in, have yourself a 6 o'clocker lager, and get the classic Mike burger and fries. I know it sounds simple. It is simple, but it's bloody delicious. The fries are terrific, and the classic Mike burger simply cannot be beat.
And for Tony, they got sandwiches. Tuna, salmon salad. Yeah.
Tony, you can get sandwiches to go. I got sandwiches,
I got some sandwiches here, Tony.
All right, who's playing kind
We
of
know you
easy?
don't like peanut butter.
Yeah, who do we got, Trev? Who we got playing
Tony.
today?
Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Tony.
Oh.
It's the internet. It's got me absolutely
flustered.
I am
It's okay,
I am
Dusty.
about ready to
You're like Iwanic mailing out memberships.
I kicked the door. I thought I put a hole in it, but it's just a shoe mark.
That would have been cool.
So that's okay. Imagine I put my foot right through the door. Whale the Wolf starts playing immediately. All right, let's go to Tony. He needs 3 of 5 correct to win today. Tony, what's going on, Tony?
Okay, boys. Thanks
Hey.
for taking my call. First time player, Probably not going to win, but I'll give it my best
You're
shot.
going to win, Tony. You're going to win, and then we'll have some sandwiches. All right, here we go. I'll start the ticker after we read the first question. Good luck. Who do the Edmonton Oilers play tonight?
Minnesota Wild.
Which Koivu brother played for the Wild, Miku or Saku?
Saku Koivu.
Name a forward currently on the Wild. You can pass. What's the name?
Captain.
What's the name of Minnesota's NBA team?
Timberwolves.
Who do the Vikings get? Oh my God,
Tony.
Tony. Did he say a member of the Minnesota Wild? I don't think I heard one. Tony.
No sandwiches for you.
Tony must work at Rogers Internet. Oh, man. We were flying high. Tony sounded like such a nice guy, too.
Well, he called it.
Oh, that sucked. He did call it.
He
First
called his
time
loss
playing,
and he delivered, baby.
I don't know if I'm going to win.
Damn.
That's a tough one.
Hey, first time. The lights are bright, right? He'll be back.
Yeah.
Tony will resurface. He'll be better than ever.
That's a tough one. Poor Tony.
Poor Tony.
DJ Petron was in yesterday picking up kind of easy trivia prize. He says, at least he did call a shot about not winning.
Yeah.
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 And this text is in no handle on it, but it says, Tony fell off the mountain.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's... we got to go visit him in the hospital now with the full...
Yeah. The Bomber guy says, Tony deserved the L after not knowing the Tony bit.
Yeah.
I would think most Tonys know the Seinfeld Tony bit, don't you know?
Well, if you're a Friends fan, though.
Baggio is in. It says, Tony should step off. Just step off. He's a mimbo.
Step off.
Dex is in and says, some nice people still suck at things.
Collie and Bomber says he said Kaprizov, didn't he?
Did he? I didn't hear it.
I think Kaprizov, you said pass. I think it was pass. You're confusing pass
we
with
were
Kaprizov.
in trouble
Pass off.
when he said Saku played for the Wild. It's clearly Mikko Koivu who played for the Wild. That was a tough one. Big Slam Nasty says, is this show the Valley Line LRT? Because it's off the rails. And Martin is refusing to ever eat at Tony Roma's ever again after that performance.
Take that.
Yeah, that's the end of them.
Just throwing out Frosted Flakes, eh? Straight to the garbage.
Straight to the garbage over and over. They're not great. They're not great.
You're not great.
Hey, if you're watching on YouTube today, we had to restart the stream, not because of Tony, but because of Roger. Hammer the thumbs up for us over there on YouTube today. That would be terrific. Roger. And I do have that Roger Tech who fixed our line last time. He gave us his cell number.
Yeah, right.
I think I'm
like
text.
there's Roger Tech.
Yeah, I'm just in there's Roger's
Last name
Tech. I don't know his name, but I'm going to fire him a message and be like, hey, man, is that line damaged again? What's going on here? What's going on? All right, let's get to 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. There we go. We're good. I think it clicked over. That was the same thing happened yesterday, too. You know why?
Exactly.
You know what that moment was? That's when the internet kicked back in. Just leave things as they are for the rest of the show. But that's what the internet just came back. So it was out for 17, 18 minutes. It just came back. There was a little bit of a hesitation there. I'm going full Tony rest of the show. I'm going backwards hat guy rest of the show.
Tony never texted in before. At 8:01, he texted in first ever text, kind of easy.
That's his first ever text?
And
so Tony's new.
Then at 8:12 just now, I knew I shouldn't have texted in.
I love this guy.
He's in and out. Like, it's just...
You know what? I will say this, Tony. There is a window in the AM Nasty world for a good Tony.
You'll be back.
Right? Like, there's not Tony Socks.
No, there's a lot of Anthony's.
Tony in
such.
Sherwood Park.
Yeah.
We don't really have, and apologies to any other Tonys who may have just not, weaseled your way into the lore of the show just yet. But I think Tony's got this sort of humbleness to him that I like. Humble Tony.
I've locked him in now. I'm
put him
assuming
in
it's
as
with
Humble
a Y.
Tony. Yeah,
Humble
yeah.
Tony, yeah.
Humble Tony. 10- says, guys, check the tape. I think he said a player name while you were reading the next question.
I think he said pass because you said you offered pass.
I said you can't pass, and I thought he said pass. I mean, if you're not coming off the top rope with Kaprizov right away, are you really going to get there?
One guessing Tony's middle name is Roger.
Tony?
In a strange twist of events.
Yeah. All right, let's get into 3 questions too many today because we have Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power still to come. Wyshynski's going to join us. We've got the Marmot Basin Snow Report. We've got the GCL Diesel Orange and Blue Breakfast. We will get into that. Your guys' internet, don't touch it. Don't even look at it. Where's that from? That's from a movie. Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. Is that a Will Ferrell movie? It's a Will Ferrell comedy. Don't touch it. Don't you like that? Like, Deaky Sparks. Where's that from?
Great trivia.
It's a movie for sure. Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. That touching's going to cost you. Is that the one?
I got it.
What's that one? Is it a Will Ferrell movie?
No.
It's not. Is it a Will Arnett movie? Is it a comedy?
I don't think he's in it.
Is it
It is
a movie?
a comedy. It's a comedy. Yeah. It's a movie.
Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. Somebody's guessing The Hangover.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. When was it? When?
Was it the car scene? Don't touch it.
Oh,
Don't even. Oh yeah, that's exactly
That's,
Zach Alfred.
Al,
Don't touch
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Sweet ride. Don't touch it.
don't even look at it.
Don't even look at it.
All right, there we go. Okay, good guesses. Good guesses, everybody. That was good. All right, perfect. Let's refocus. Do you have a Twitter account?
I do. It's at Lieutenant_Eric. And 3 questions brought to you by Park Mazda, where Principal Mitch Lewicki, dealer Principal Mitch Lewicki, still runs dial-up internet.
Yeah, he
At
also
the,
says
the
the same
dealership.
thing about all of his cars. Don't look at it. Don't touch it. Don't even look at
Yeah.
it. Just buy it.
Just buy it.
Just going to buy it right now.
Park Mazda.
That's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
All right, question number 1, and you can chime in and play along as well at 780-218-9999. Do you guys think Philp could eventually find his way into the Oilers' top 9? And this is very early for a guy who just got called up, has barely played in the National Hockey League, and is likely going to start in the 4th line.
This has nothing to do with injury.
No, yeah, I mean, with injuries, everybody could be in the top 9 at some point.
Sure.
So, yeah, without injuries, could Philp end up in the top 9, and how long until he would? I mean, boys, I'm gonna have to say, not this year, not next year, but the year after when Adam Henrique's contract is up.
Sure.
Like, is there a window there when Henrique leaves that Philp can become a 3rd-line right shot center behind Draisaitl and McDavid?
Sure. Absolutely.
But that's got to be the timeline for it. Anything else would be very advanced, I would think. What say you?
And would have to have some lineup movement in terms of injury or something.
Yeah.
Something happening along that fashion.
780-218-9999 if you want to chime in on the Philp question. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I mean, there should be a jump there. He moves well. He's a bigger body. He can win faceoffs. I don't know what else you really need from a 4th-line center.
No, you're not asking the world of him. You're not pulling an alarm or anything and needing him to come in and rescue anything. Again, it's a great test drive, much like you would get out at Park Mazda.
Question number 2. Boys, if Ed Hervey isn't going to give Gino Lewis $300,000, do you think anybody will give Gino Lewis $300,000? Sounds like a question for the CFL tampering window.
I think there are more teams that won't give him that much money than will.
I don't think anybody's giving him $300,000.
You don't need to in the CFL.
I think Edmonton was in a desperate time to try to save the franchise when they decided to go out and get him. He's a phenomenal talent, but you don't need to give him $300,000.
I do wonder what the market presents to him. As Hervey said, wouldn't mind having him back, but obviously not at that pay. So I do wonder kind of where who might come in as the highest bidder. I mean, you mentioned Edmonton in that scenario needing to save the franchise. The Calgary Stampeders have that exact issue right now in terms of, getting back a pop to their franchise and team. And, obviously the situation and relationship he has with VA. Maybe not the 300,000, but maybe they got to get close to that.
I think he probably comes in around 275.
Sure.
And if it's 270, see, maybe we can save it here. Probably not. Oh, we got it. We salvaged it. People are going to love it when that spinning stops and we're back. Probably lasted a little bit longer than you would have thought, but yeah, we bounced back over onto my phone again. This is getting sketchy, but we survived. So hammer the thumbs up. We were just in the middle of a great Gino Lewis question. Question number 3. Boys, it's National Hat Day. What's the most popular hat of all time, do you think?
Hat? It's got to be like the top hat. Or we're talking caps. Like the hat, that opens it up, right?
Yeah, I think we're talking about the hat.
Cowboy hat.
It's not ball cap.
Top hat.
Or are you thinking like...
Because everybody back in the day,
what about
had
a
a top
baseball
hat.
cap?
A baseball cap.
Could that be the top? I instantly thought of Indiana Jones's hat.
Oh, you're like a one-off.
I'm thinking of like
popular
one-off
hat.
hats.
Yeah.
That's where my mind went on this.
Almost
question.
like a weekly ranking of.
Yeah,
of
I
some
went.
sort
I
of-
went off like one-off hats.
Yeah, that's a very famous hat.
I think Indiana Jones's hat would probably be the most famous hat, but yeah,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
popular. Savvy's hat.
Sure.
What was his?
Your pirate hats are
How
always.
come I
you
can't
know,
remember his name? Captain John Sparrow. Jack Sparrow.
Jake.
Damn it. Jordan
Sparrow.
Captain Jordan Sparrow.
Nash Osborne says a draft of hats, perhaps.
No, I looked it up. I've looked this up. There's not enough hats to draft hats.
Get out of here.
I swear to God. Go look it up.
Like in
go,
pop
go look,
culture,
Go
really?
look up a list of like top 50 hats of all time. I don't think there would be enough hats for
You
us
could
to
do
do
like
hats
best
draft.
cartoon hats.
Plus, if we're doing a draft this month, it's Handsome Man draft. We have to still do our Handsome Man draft.
You are not.
I want to do a Handsome Man
August.
draft. I know, but we've only done the Christmas draft really since August.
You could do like
scary draft.
the hat
Scary
draft.
draft, yeah.
You could do
I was sick
baseball
for that
cap. You could do cartoon hats. You could do movie hats. You could
What's a famous cartoon hat?
Scrooge McDuck's top hat.
Oh man, we're drafting Scrooge McDuck's top
Well, I'm
hat.
just saying, there's
When we could do a Handsome Man draft and take
Well,
Brad Pitt the
nothing
first
against
round.
the Handsome Man draft. Woody from Toy Story. He's got the there's a snake in my boot. You know,
Woody's hat for Toy Story would be a good one.
it's an iconic one.
Does Marty McFly have a hat?
Marty McFly, there was a futuristic in Back to the Future 2.
See, there we go.
The hat in Back to the Future 2 actually would be a hat that I would draft.
It's like the white and red.
No, it's like all technical. It's like a bunch of different colors.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking.
I think
The bad guy
I honestly
from,
think I might have that.
Roger
I think
Rabbit.
I might have that hat at
Maybe.
home somewhere. Wouldn't we rather do Handsome Man draft?
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
get whatever you want.
Please.
It's your show.
We have to do a Handsome Man
Yeah.
draft.
Oh, yes.
You've been wanting that Handsome Man draft for a long time, Trev.
More than you?
Since August.
Yeah, you
When
do
guys,
seem like you want it more than me.
I do.
I know the Commish Queen is very interested in a
Lots of
Handsome Man
talent there.
draft. Yeah.
Lots of talent.
Yeah. You
It'd be
could
fun.
there's so many handsome men.
There's the handsome media men is what we were doing. The categories that we have.
Oh, there's a bunch of good categories, yeah.
in Edmonton or beyond.
I think we're going to be a little slim drafting handsome members of the Edmonton media. I'll just be honest with you. Let's be honest. We all can't draft Tommy. But Tommy could draft
He
Tommy.
could draft himself. Yeah.
I do want to see Tommy take himself in the 4-5 swing.
So many cool categories we were discussing.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that was
there's
early
a lot.
August.
You could even do a doctor, right? The handsome doctor. There's lots of handsome doctors from TV.
Yeah, the doctor.
A lot of handsome doctors.
Dr. Green from ER.
Tell me one ugly doctor. And pretty much, if you're going to be a doctor on TV, you got to be a handsome man. Anyway,
one of the
well,
qualifications.
you know what? Let me text the commish and see what her schedule looks like later in January, and maybe we slot in a handsome man draft later in the month, which would be a lot of fun. All right, Lieutenant Eric's weekly rankings of power. Power. Let's get into those bad boys right now. We've got Greg Wyshynski coming up. He will answer for himself. He'll be by just after 8:30 today. Marmot Basin Snow Report and the wrap for William Huff still to come. Lieutenant Eric, where are you going today, buddy?
This popped up yesterday on the show, but carried over to the EST Hangout 9 to 11 here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Matt Iwanek, Tom Gazzola, and Jasmine were in discussing handshakes. So I'm going over the top 10 handshakes. This isn't necessarily...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and kind of going from worst to best, I guess. Or the most effective, the most, shall we say, not just powerful, but easy to do, fun for everyone, mixing in some confidence, that type of thing. So all that together, going from worst to first.
Oh, man, this is going to be good.
But again, I like the bad handshakes. So for me, it would be kind of, you could flip this list if I was doing it personally. But I think for most out there, and Trev, you mentioned, I mean, you confess that you have high anxiety when it comes to shaking hands. So you might want to, write this list, and then you can kind of practice them in the mirror with yourself.
I'll be taking
You
notes.
should
on
write
this
these
list,
down.
more than your other lists.
Clip this.
Yeah,
Clip
I
this,
had to
Trev. You're gonna need this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. Number 10.
The dead fish. And I was throwing a lot of dead
You want
fish
to do
out.
samples of them?
Yeah,
with
we
me?
can do that for the
Samples.
viewers.
I think that
pleasure.
would be good.
Well, that's not even. I
is
get
it?
right
Okay.
in there.
Oh, gross.
You got to get the palm. It can't
Let's
just be
do
the
one more dead
fingers. Yeah,
fish.
yeah, yeah.
Imagine putting no pressure into a handshake.
I was throwing those out all over the place yesterday. Yeah, I
God.
did it to Tom a couple of times. It was great fun. But it's funny. Like
dead
it's,
fish.
It really, if you really want to spin somebody, you give them the dead fish, and they don't know what to do.
All right, so the dead fish at 10. I like this idea of doing the handshakes with you.
Yeah.
Number 9.
The bone crusher.
Oh, no. I know what that is. Let's pass.
Well, you can do the math on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But nobody likes everybody likes a strong handshake, but you don't need to be cracking my knuckles.
It's the opposite of the dead fish.
pretty much.
You
Would you
know,
rather have a dead fish or a bone crusher, though? I ask you that.
Somebody who's doing, I'd rather have the dead fish.
Yeah, right. It's
Like,
soft and pillowy.
What do you like? Person doing the bone crusher is just you're a prick.
You're a
jerk.
tryhard.
There's no
Yeah,
reason. Get it?
no.
Okay, cool. You can squeeze things
Yeah.
hard.
Look at your grip.
Awesome. Congratulations. I don't want to hang out with you. All right, number 8.
The long lingerer.
Okay, what's a? That's just too long.
So here, and then you know what to do.
Oh yeah.
And
okay.
then now you're trying to release. I can feel you. You're trying to release.
I
and
gotta get out of there. Okay, the long lingerer. That's a
You
good
start
one.
sweating and
Long lingerer.
likes that.
All right, number 7.
The lobster claw. We had a different name for this one back at the old place.
Is that just like that?
Just like that. But the problem is you're not both doing it. So you do give me.
Oh, okay.
So I'll do the lobster
do
claw. And you
lobster
go to
claw.
shake my hand normally. Like, what are we doing
You're
here?
just
you know?
tickling my palm.
Yeah. So
All
you're,
right.
you're grabbing a lot of thumb and,
right.
and a lot of like condensed finger, and it's
The lobster claw.
it's kind of like
Okay.
a mole shaking hands with a mole.
All right, number 6.
Sweaty palms.
Oh yeah.
Now I could spit on my.
I was gonna
hand.
say it.
Yeah, we don't need to be.
sweaty palm. We know that one.
Yeah,
Look at Trevi zoomed in closely on our hands for the handshakes.
I love it.
The sweaty palm. Okay, number 5.
The 2-hand hug. A
boy.
lot of the political elite, that type of thing. You kind of come in with.
Okay, so there's no handshake. It's just a hug.
No. You kind of. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. I like that.
Usually
Okay.
making big deals.
Yeah, the
you know?
two-hand
Like, I
hug.
mean, Yeah.
That's okay. The 2-hand hug.
Crack pack. When you deal cards, you kind of
Yeah,
give
no,
the
I like that
the
one.
2-hand hug.
This is a real nice list of handshakes you're putting together here. All right, number 4.
The grab and pull, otherwise known as the controller, and we've seen
Okay.
that also in politics.
You control.
Kind of rip your arm in
my
your socket.
shoulder,
Yeah, I didn't
ah!
want to. I just
He's your daddy.
didn't want to. Yeah. But
Okay.
again, a little more of a try hard. You're kind of
Yeah.
ripping it in there, and nobody likes that.
All right, number 3.
The pusher, which is almost the
Oh my goodness.
opposite of the controller. That's awkward.
That is awkward.
Which I
to
kind
push
of like,
in.
and that's why I have it up top there. But I'd rather get than push than controlled. I think
All right, number 2.
the fist bump.
Oh yeah.
Look, Jeff Krishel is he's the master of the.
He loves the fist
because you
bump.
always go to shake somebody's hand and he always gives you the fist.
Yeah.
Sometimes I grab it, which makes it even more awkward.
Yeah, I do love the grabbing,
of
of the fist.
and just shaking
Yeah.
it and staring me in the eyes. But the fist, it's universal, and when this is held up, a closed fist, you know what to do. There's
Yeah.
no. Do I?
It's the least awkward of all of them.
Yeah.
Surprised it's not number 1, actually. I guess technically, is it a handshake still? That's the whole thing. This is like the hot dog sandwich thing.
Every list loves the controversy, as you've been finding out on your top.
Nothing controversial
21.
about my list. It's great. All right, number 1.
Number 1 from the Montreal Canadiens. I'm going with the diagonal clasp high five shake.
Whoa.
Now, if you execute these, they're just the best.
Those are good, man.
Sometimes they don't.
Those are
but sometimes they don't work.
They
Sometimes
can be a
you
bit
miss.
wonky at times, but that was a real good one.
But
we
if you
just
can
did.
really get that, if you can line up those palms and get that good crack, and then you can do whatever you want. After that, you can bring it in for a hug. Oh no! See, that was
on the wrist.
nope.
nope.
That was on the,
No, it's still not. Just a sec. Okay, ready? Yeah! Let's go. Oh, man. Great handshake list, buddy. That's the one, though,
I love
right?
that clasp high five. That's where it's at.
That's really where you know
approach
you're
somebody like
handshaking
this. You don't
somebody.
go out like this. You go. Tom said his brother, Paulie, puts his hand out like this to shake hands. Like you're supposed to kiss it. He comes at you with it.
I mentioned Paulie
You
yesterday.
mentioned
and
Paulie
I have
yesterday?
a hard time with Paulie. Yes,
Is that
it's
what-
hard to read.
kinda- yeah,
See, that's
yeah.
the thing. Like I don't know what he's going. How am I supposed to approach that when he's wanting me to kiss his hand? I don't know.
You should next time give him a little peck.
Maybe.
You know what? Next time you see Paulie,
Do it.
if he goes
That's
like
the
this,
power move.
you should grab his fingers and
That's a
kiss his
power
bloody
move.
hand.
I'd prefer to do that than shake anyone's hand anymore.
You're gonna just start
all
kissing
the bad,
people?
All the bad handshakes on that list, I was like, okay, I've done that. I do that, and I do that one as well. So the cool ones I don't do. So the last one there, I'm going to practice that. We'll see if I can get better.
Just go full dead fish.
I do dead fish.
Just become
Just
a
keep doing
side
it.
hugger. Just do side
You
hugs.
can do side hugs too.
Just
Yeah.
gonna put arm around a side hug.
I'm a hugger.
Yeah,
I'll just hug everyone from now on. Okay.
man, that's good. I like that list, Rick. Good job.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's
that was well put together. I wonder what Greg Wyshynski's go-to welcoming handle is for handshakes or fist bump or
like the natural. Yeah,
Yeah.
what does he do?
and why does he hate Connor McDavid? We'll get into that coming up as well.
It's got to be a lobster claw with that take. Hey,
Yeah, there's got that's
he's probably a
the
lobster.
lobster claw is really weird. Give me one more dead fish. That's the weirdest handshake of all time. All right, we got a sports update for Sit and Sleep. We got Marmot Basin Snow Report still to come. The Orange and Blue Breakfast.
Wish the fish for Double A says.
What's that?
Wish the fish. Wyshynski.
They wish
He's
the fish.
probably the dead fish.
Orange and Blue Breakfast, your GCL Diesel still to come as well to get you ready for the Oilers and the Minnesota Wild, and of course the wrap for William Huff. Nash and Whitecourt says after beer league games, handshake lines can be confusing with all the pressure. Young guys fist bumping, older guys normal handshakes, and then weirdos leaving their gloves on. That's the worst. In men's league, come on, just take off the glove, shake a hand normally.
And even that diagonal clasp high five that we just did, that's the meme. That's Arnold and Carl Weathers and Predator. You know, when they...
Yeah. No, you know what that one is? That one here, let's do that one again. Let's do that one again. This is at the... Oh, that was awesome. This is at the end of a 7-game series. You're shaking hands. It's just like a bunch of these, right? You get swept, and it's the lame fish. Or whatever we call it. All right, let's get to the update. Wyshynski on the other side, and a bunch more to get to before 9
that
o'clock.
was a good smack. That
That one was perfect.
Get that audio. Talk to you.
That was good. That was good.
Oilers and Wild tonight down in Minnesota in one of 2 games around the NHL as Edmonton will be kicking off a 3-game road trip. Tom Gazzola will be by at 5:30 with the GCL Diesel pregame show here on EST. You can join Tommy and Hernan also following tonight's action with the GCL Diesel postgame show. Other action last night, busy night around the NHL as Devon Toews scored the overtime winner. Avalanche 3-2 over the Rangers. Kyle Connor had the natural hat trick. Jets smoked the Canucks 6-1. Habs over Utah 5-3. Vegas have dropped 3 of 4 following a 5-3 loss to the Preds. Blues of the Flames 2-1. Caps shutting out Anaheim 3-0. Kraken double up the Penguins 4-2. And Toronto have now dropped 3 straight following a 4-1 loss to the Stars. The Edmonton Oil Kings will embark on a 3-game road trip as well, beginning tonight down in Swift Current against the Broncos. Edmonton 5 points back of first in the Central Division heading into tonight's action. Raptors are at home to the Celtics tonight, one of 11 games around the NBA. Over to the Australian Open where Felix Auger-Aliassime was bounced in second-round play earlier today. Gabriel Diallo and Denis Shapovalov will take to the court later this evening in second-round action. And from the Golf League last night, Los Angeles Golf Club thumping Tiger Woods' Jupiter Links GC in the second match of the season. 12-1 was your final. Action will resume Tuesday when New York takes on Atlanta. Sit and Sleep is currently offering a winter clearance sale from massive discounts on major sleep brands to unbeatable deals on Canadian-made custom furniture. Our winter clearance event is your chance to transform your home at a fraction of the cost. Plus, enjoy perks like free local white glove delivery and special financing offers that make it even easier to bring home the best. Visit us today in South Common next to Planet Fitness.
You just made the list.
Makes my day.
8:34 on the Nielson show. We play the A&W song because A&W gave us that song to play, so we can mix that one.
I was
in.
wondering if it'd be the original or the remix, the EST remix. But
That ended up winning Moment of the Year at the Estes last year when Dr. J came in and we played the A&W song live in the studio.
and I didn't do bad at it either. I must say, though, that re-drop over top of the A&W, that hits.
Makes my day.
That really hits. Yeah.
Text of the day today, will win a gift certificate to A&W. And what's better than one A&W Mama Burger? How about two of them? And what's better than one bacon and egger? How about two of them? Two bacon and eggers or two sausage and eggers right now for just $6.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but is today game day for the Oilers?
Today is game day. Game day, $5 Mama Burger and fries at participating A&Ws. Tough to beat that.
Got options.
We just did a 7-minute bid on handshakes. Let's bring in Greg Wyshynski from ESPN. Greg, are you a normal handshake guy? Are you a fist pumper? What do you do?
First of all, I thought you were bringing me in with tuba music, and I'm like, I know I put on a few, but the tuba music would have been a step too far.
What a jerk move.
I'm a Don Draper man-to-man handshake guy, which I know is not necessarily in vogue in our germophobic world. And I'm sure that people are rushing to find some hand sanitizer once they clasp mine. My problem, though, is that although I want to be very Mad Men about my handshakes, I don't often have commiserate pressure as the person I'm shaking hands with. And there are times when I feel like my hand is being caught in a vice grip because I haven't matched their intensity in the handshake. Have we also talked about how my opinion on handshake lines, how I hate them and don't believe that they should exist at the end of NHL playoff series? Oh, yeah. I think it's...
Why? What's going on here?
I think it's degrading. I think it's degrading for the team that just lost to have to go and acknowledge the good game that the other team played. I know that it's all in the name of sportsmanship. I know it's something that these guys have been doing since they were in Pee Wee. But the idea that, you've just lost a violent 7-game series to someone who now gets to, dance on your grave, and you are obligated to skate up to somebody who maybe waylaid you with an elbow 2 games ago to earn a suspension and be like, good game, best of luck in the next round. It's like rubbing a puppy's nose in its own feces. I've always hated it. I don't think it's good. And you might as well have the losing team give the winning team a foot massage while you're at it if you're going to subjugate them like that.
Or rub their nose in their own feces. I mean, depending on how the series went.
Now, there's a percentage of NHL players who might
lose. It does suck.
There's a percentage of NHL players who might be into that, to be honest with you, knowing what kind of freaks we're dealing with in this league. But no, I've always been anti-handshake line. I feel like it's, and I also think that we shouldn't shame players that don't want to take part in it. Like when Connor didn't want to come out to win to accept the Conn Smythe. Like, if it's too much for you, skate away. Sid took a lot of grief once, if memory serves, for like not being in the handshake line after the Penguins, I think, maybe lost to Detroit. But like, who cares? Like, you're forcing them to go and do something they probably don't want to do.
Greg Wyshynski with us from ESPN. Greg, we have to get, since the moment we came in today, people have been texting us. They're like, I'm glad Wyshynski's on today so he can talk about why he doesn't think McDavid's going to stay in Edmonton forever. So what have you done, Greg? Like, what did you say to Jeff Marek that has caused this stir here again?
So this was on the sheet with Jeff Marek. For those who don't know, me and Marek do our podcast every Tuesday on his show, The Sheet, on Daily Faceoff. It's a sneaky way to tell my employer that I'm a guest on a podcast when I'm pretty much a co-host. So the thing that happened, we were talking about the Oilers yesterday, it's been taken out of context. Like, I did not say McDavid is going to leave. I merely said that based on things I've heard, informed speculation, that the default setting of Leon signed because McDavid is staying, I don't necessarily think is as accurate as we thought it was. Now, it doesn't mean that McDavid's leaving. It doesn't mean that the bar Lauren purchased, I guess, I've been told this several times on social media in the last 24 hours, is not a harbinger that they're going to stick around. We've all seen their lovely house on Amazon and in the pages of many architectural magazines. They've put roots down. He's happy here. I'm just saying that the direct line of Leon puts pen to paper because Connor is putting pen to paper, I don't believe is true. I think the odds are that he stays, but I don't think it's guaranteed
just because
that
Leon. You don't think it's guaranteed that he stays just because Leon signed? Is basically
I don't think that Leon signed because Connor's signing, and I don't think it's guaranteed that Connor stays because Leon's there. Now, it makes all the sense in the world for him to stay, from the point of his former agent running the team to the point of him having roots there, to the point of him having one of the best players in the world as a teammate. Although I don't think Connor would suffer for having to make other players better on his line or on the power play if he was someplace else. But I do think that if the Oilers don't succeed, I do think that if the Oilers regress in playoff success, and let's face it, they're going to get to the second round because they're going to probably end up playing the Kings. There's the chance that he's going to look at other situations and how teams are built and what's on the way. And I just don't think it's as guaranteed as we think it is that he's definitely going to stay. I think the odds are good that he will, but I don't think it's as guaranteed as I thought maybe it was when Leon signed.
You showed your work a bit too in saying like you identified a few markets where, in the future and looking at how their rosters are comprised, they could make it happen and back up the Brinks truck, as a lot of our listeners right now want to rub your face in dog crap listening to all of this. But go on with your work. I mean, you did identify a few other places that could be an ideal market.
Boston set up for a run at him. New York is clearly set up for a run at him because they're going to reorganize the deck chairs on that Titanic at some point, and he can look over at the Rangers and say, okay, well, there's Adam Fox. We don't have an Adam Fox at Edmonton. All due respect to Darnell Nurse. There's Igor Shesterkin. We don't have that in Edmonton. All due respect to Stuart Skinner. I think there's going to be opportunities for him. Obviously, he's the best player on the planet. He's the best player, one of the best players ever. And if it's an opportunity where he, either has the hankering to go someplace else and try something different, or because he thinks that he's got a better chance to win someplace else, I don't know. But again, my point is that there are going to be other opportunities for him out there. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're better than Edmonton or he'll be more comfortable there. But it also, like I said, I think we all defaulted to Leon signs. Now let's just check our watch to see when Connor signs. And I don't quite think it's as linear as that.
I defaulted to that when he signed. I'm still there. Like, I would be stunned if he left, but you should see the people in the chat who are like, does Greg not know about Lauren's bar that she's opening? Like, this
I know about Lauren's bar. Yeah, this would be the first situation ever where somebody gave back to the community and then all of a sudden didn't play right there anymore. It's never happened before. As I look at the PK Subban Hospital, like, it doesn't mean that they don't like Edmonton, and it doesn't mean they don't love the market. It doesn't mean they don't have friends here. Like the idea that they wouldn't, keep their house at Edmonton if he was playing someplace else. I mean, all that's true. I'm not coming at this as a troll. I'm not coming at this as someone who's there for clicks. They're not even my clicks. It's Merrick's show, for God's sakes. I'm just saying that based on conversations I've had and insight from others, I just don't think it's as guaranteed as we think it is. And that's all I'm saying. Because I'm like you, Dustin. Like when Leon signed, I'm like, oh, perfect. Here come, Connor and Leon for the next 9 years to rule over this team and craft it into their own image. And I'm not there anymore. And, I
can't even imagine what it would be like in this market if it gets close to that. Like if something isn't done in advance, if it's like, oh my God, he's going to test the waters. Like, can you imagine this market if it even gets there? Greg, we couldn't handle it. As a city, they could not handle this. I mean, that would not happen.
You got Draisaitl. Draisaitl's there for in perpetuity. It's not like
nominee.
Hubbard's there. The guy's going to win.
But they can't win with both. How could they win with one? You know what I mean? Like, they got. Well,
listen, if Draisaitl could just shed that anchor that is McDavid, maybe he can finally win a cup.
He'd have 3 Hart trophies right now. Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I'm actually like really intrigued to see where Draisaitl is in the Hart like thing in our NHL awards watch next month, because I think there's other guys that have cases. I think Quinn Hughes is an interesting case. I think Hellebuck obviously does, but it's really hard for a goalie to win the Hart. I just think that Leon's head and shoulders better than McKinnon this year, and I'm really intrigued to see if if the voters see that too.
I saw a list the other day that had Kucherov ahead of him still. I'm like, I don't know if people are seeing
That's
that.
insane.
Leon Draisaitl
his goal scoring rate is going to rank in the top 10 post 2005 if he continues to do this. And on top of that, when you look into the analytics, he's added like over 4 wins to the Oilers this year on his own, and he's leading the league in expected goals above replacement. Like he's been so good and doing so without having McDavid's line mates. So it's been an incredible year for Leon.
You salvaged a bit there with Edmontonians taking Leon.
It's not calculated. It's just people think I'm playing 4D chess. I'm like Trump. I have no idea what I'm doing. I stumble into things sometimes, and here it is.
The Oilers get the Wild tonight. They had a great start. Kaprizov had a great start. Where are the Minnesota Wild at right now? What should we expect from this game, do you think?
They're broken. They're just like, they have so many injuries right now, including Kaprizov, who, by the way, let's face it, is played himself out of the off the top of the leaderboard for the Hart. I think he probably would be the leader right now had he stayed healthy, with the impact that he had on that team offensively. But they're a team that clearly has had an amazing season to be where they are right now in the Central. But I mean, the Oilers are clearly catching up at the right time with the amount of bang upness that they have.
All right, what do you got coming down the pipe over at ESPN?
Mid-season awards tomorrow. I know we're a little bit past the mid-season, but I can't control the editorial calendar. It's 20 different categories, ranging from most disappointing team and most despondent player, Connor Bedard, and of course, player of the first half of the season, which in my estimation is Leon Draisaitl.
And that's where we'll leave it today.
Yeah, you got to say that a little louder next time for the people in the back.
We're gonna do that thing where somebody clips you and then puts it out, and you're like, oh, damn, we're gonna do Leon is the player of the year, Greg Wyshynski, and then people will be like,
I think he is. Now I don't know how many bars he owns in the Edmonton area to have allowed him to sign that contract, but I do know that he is the player of the year so far.
Good stuff, buddy. We'll talk again soon.
Anytime.
There you go. That is Greg Wyshynski from ESPN. And like the chat, look, Greg's good.
Bless him.
Greg's great.
Yeah.
We love Greg. It's why Brett Lickey over there says he salvaged nothing. Not a damn thing. Nash says, I bet he heard it from someone that works at a rink concession stand. Look, Greg is very in tune with a lot of people around the National Hockey League. He's just saying it's not as sure as he thought it was just because Leon Draisaitl signed.
Yeah, and don't get so
That's
triggered over it either. It shouldn't be like you should feel confident that he will sign here. He was just stating a case, and until it's signed, there's always a 1% chance. He mentioned a few markets that would be in a financial position that could make it happen. But have a little faith in the fact that it will.
I would be stunned if he didn't stay, though.
Yeah.
I mean, things would have to go off the rails pretty hard in the next 18 months for McDavid to not stick around and deliver a Stanley Cup to this city. Unless he actually does deliver a Stanley Cup to the city.
But, the PK Subban Hospital, these are all things. Joel said earlier today, too. I was a little sus when Dry said in his press conference that he was going to do what's best for him, and McDavid was going to do what's best for him.
What?
Read between the lines there.
How dare these guys do what's best for themselves?
Sharpie says, the wishbone has been slowly winning me over, pissing me off for a decade, and here he is ruining it all.
That's
in one
thing.
foul swoop.
Like many of you probably, because he's great with us, many of you probably kind of really like Greg Wyshynski, but then he does something that even just remotely goes against your Oilers being, and you're like, I hate this man. But Wyshynski saying that Leon Draisaitl should win the Hart Trophy.
Makes my day.
Yeah.
I was wondering how you're going to rope that
Yeah,
one
no,
in
I was
there.
going to make it work. All right, let's get into the Orange and Blue Breakfast for GCL Diesel. Providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They're the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. It's GCL Diesel. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart, that was a pregnant pause for effect, trying to do my best Reed Wilkins impression. If you're watching over on YouTube, you would have seen it. Hammer the thumbs up over there. The Edmonton Oilers, Hyman, McDavid, Nuge, Draisaitl, Arvidsson, Podkolzin, Henrique with Brown and Matthias Janmark. They have called up Philp. Does he draw in between Corey Perry and Kasperi Kapanen tonight? Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, and Emberson. As for the Minnesota Wild, and we'll get to the injury report here coming up as well.
A few familiar
in just a
faces,
moment.
though, on their starting lineup that you might know from your orange and blue programs.
Marco Rossi between Zuccarello and Boldy, Frederick Gaudreau with Ryan Hartman and Marcus Johansson, Joel Eriksson-Ek, Yakov Trenin and Marcus Foligno, Marat Kushnutdinov with Ben Jones and Devin Shore in the house.
Keep going.
Jacob Middleton, John Merrill, Declan Chisholm, Zach Bogosian, David Juracek, and Travis Dermott.
Yeah, the real who's who,
If you can believe it. Let's get to your podium physiotherapy injury report. A list of guys who aren't tough enough to play hockey tonight. If you have knee pain from a nagging ACL injury, hip or shoulder pain slowing you down, back pain after a long day's work, they've got you covered. Whether it's a sports injury, post-op recovery, or the wear and tear of everyday life, expert team is here to get you back on track. Podium Physiotherapy. Unlock the athlete in you. Who's not playing?
Yeah, for the Oilers, Evander Kane and Alec Regula. As Wyshynski mentioned, the walking wounded for the Wild here. Jakub Leko, Jared Spurgeon, Kirill Kaprizov, all listed on the IR, and listed as out, Brock Faber, Jesper Wallstedt, and Jonas Brodin.
They are banged up.
They're banged up, but they still have some Oiler killers in this starting lineup tonight.
Joel Eriksson-Ek is playing.
Ryan Hartman, Matt Zuccarello. I mean, traditionally, these guys have been pretty hot against the Oilers. So,
if you're wondering why the Oilers are minus 199 favorites, or were at least about an hour ago, Spurgeon, Kaprizov, Faber, Brodin. I mean, these are key guys for this team. Kyle Dane Bomber says, I'm putting money on Dermott getting a point tonight. Wouldn't that be something? Yeah.
Didn't have that on the wheel.
That is your Podium Physiotherapy injury report here in the Orange and Blue Breakfast, brought to you by GCL Diesel. Your key to, and we nailed it last game. You got the key to the victory perfect, and I said Stuart Skinner was going to be one of the 3 stars. What is your key to a victory tonight?
Well, I'm going to say Leon Draisaitl v. Matt Zuccarello and that type of point off or goal off.
I like their chances.
Zuccarello has 8 points in his last 5. Draisaitl has 7 in his last 5. Draisaitl has 4 assists in his last 5. Zuccarello has 5 assists in his last 5. These are kind of the 2 big bulls now, and especially, as we mentioned, with the Wild injury report. I'm looking at that individual battle, and maybe whoever comes out between the 2 will lead their team to victory tonight. And it's funny too this season. Somebody was saying like Minnesota, it's a Columbus-esque graveyard for the Oilers. Minnesota, the 2 games they played this season back in November, Minnesota winning here, Edmonton with that 7-1 thump down in Minnesota. So this is the season breaker. This is the final time they'll meet in the regular season tonight down in Minnesota, but both teams winning on the road. So don't be so scared of going down to the state of hockey. And maybe Emerson mixes it up again. He played his minor hockey there. I remember he was telling fond tales about growing up near there and going to tournaments at that arena. So maybe he kind of comes out to shine again.
Feisty boy.
He dropped the gloves last time.
Feisty boy. My game day prediction, Zach Hyman goal. I'm going to get on a Zach Hyman goal in the game.
Fresh off that Oreo deal.
Well, look, if you're going to have an Oreo deal,
feeling good.
You're going to have to start banging home some biscuits.
Double
am I right?
stuffed, yeah.
Let's do that. All right, that is your Orange and Blue Breakfast for GCL Diesel. You will hear the GCL Diesel pre- and post-game show tonight. And, of course, Oil Understood, brought to you by GCL Diesel on the Reed Wilkins Show as well. GCL Diesel, a wonderful partner of ours here at Edmonton Sports Talk. Let's get into the Marmot Basin snow report for everybody who's thinking of heading up to the hill and trying to catch some of that freshie.
You just made the list!
So stoked. Like, winter's here. I'm stoked. You stoked?
Stoked.
Just so stoked.
Yes.
I mean, it came down last night, what, a good 5 inches?
Last night, I think so. Something like that, and a couple feet the day before.
You've got a 5-foot base with 5 inches of freshie on top.
Another warm day, temperature of -2 this morning at Marmot. Skies are cloudy. The forecast is calling for snow tomorrow. Settled snowpack right now sitting at 64 centimeters. Total snowfall, 149 for the season. 11 runs were groomed last night, and all the lifts are operating. Jasper in January. Festival continues through to January 26th. Check out skimarmot.com for listing of all the great events and deals off lift tickets.
Makes my day.
Clap your hands. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. The mighty rock. The mighty rock. Clap your hands. The mighty rock. The mighty rock. Clap your hands.
Give me a soda with some ice in it. Get up your fat little ass or I'll break it for you.
8:54, snow report.
They should have that at the top of the
Marmot
lift
Basin.
every time. Like you get to
At
the top of the lift. Get off your fat little ass.
Get off your fat. Or break
Just
it for
the recording
you.
over and over and over
Everybody
again.
just
Yeah,
every
yeah.
time the chair drops you off, boom, boom. Get off your fat little. That's funny. All right, let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, WilliamHuff.com is where you can get that done. They are the best in the biz. They've been doing it since 1952, so you know they can trust them. And they drive their company, they grow their company on great customer service, which actually brings me to what I learned on the show today. I texted Shaggy, who was a listener, Shaggy in St. Albert, who works for Rogers. And I said, hey, can you check our internet connection again to see if it's been damaged coming into the building? And he goes, sure, I'll check. He goes, maybe the problem is too many Canadians in your top 20. Oh, Shaggy, the internet guy, being funny with me when not really in a funny mood. Anyway, what did you guys learn on the show today? What did you learn on the show?
Well, you're not exactly shall we say, a huge fan of the Oilers sniffing around one John Klingberg. The poll ends.
You think?
No, actually, 26 minutes left in the poll. 75.1 now saying no. So you've really done it.
It should be less than 20.
You're bringing them down. 24.9 say yeah. So we haven't hit that less than 20 mark. But yeah, the hip resurfacing just doesn't do it for you, eh?
No.
Even with a resurfaced hip, you're still not taking it.
It's not going to work.
League minimum.
When John Klingberg signs in Toronto,
Makes my day.
that's what it'll be. Trev, did you learn anything on the show today, buddy? What'd you learn today?
I learn everything every show, or I learn a thing every show. Today I learned of your list, 11 to 20. I learned that there's 10 handshakes, the dead fish, the bone crusher, to name a few. And I learned of the Tony bit. I didn't know that was a thing.
You didn't know about Tony?
Tony. But I like
Seinfeld.
it.
You got to watch that. Just go on YouTube and search Seinfeld Tony.
No peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah, no.
Tony.
If you missed the list, I continued my top 10 into a top 20. The top 20 now looks like this: Gretzky, Mario, Orr, Howe, Messier, Yager, Crosby, Hasek, Ovechkin, McDavid, Lidstrom, Bossy, Esposito, Patrick Waugh, Guy Lafleur, Jean Beliveau, Paul Coffey, Ken Dryden, Ray Bourque, Doug Harvey. That's your top 20 players in the history of hockey.
No Andy Bathgate yet.
21 to 30 next week on a slow day. Can't wait. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. Let's get to your sound of the day today. Where do we go for sound of the day today?
It's Wednesday. You have somebody suggested you play the A&W theme as Wyshynski was leaving due to his terrible takes on the McDavid thing.
Oh my goodness, poor Wyshynski. Let's do this. Let's take this. Sound of the day. Could have gone sound. You know what we could have gone sound of the day? Poor Tony.
Roseanne again.
Tony on Kind of Easy Trivia today. Absolutely blowing it big time. That
or
was,
just could have done the diagonal clasp high five, the final one.
Was that not good? That was the sound
crisp,
of the day.
Hey? That was a crisp one.
That might have been the best handshake I've ever had in my entire life.
If you can get him crisp.
Well, the one that you guys liked before you finished off with, it was decent. And it was like, oh, okay, that was good. But then all of a sudden,
was perfect.
Like,
you
I
kind of
heard
got to
that.
not be meaning it.
cupping,
It's just
it
kind of
was
got to
just
be,
the
yeah.
Wow,
It was
what a
so good.
satisfying sound.
Hurt my hand, but just a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good pain.
The echo.
Oh, it was nice. Yeah.
It was nice.
It was
cup.
really nice.
Yeah.
All right, text of the day today. We got to go back to the one that made us laugh the most today. And I think this is the first time this person's ever won text of the day. Herb's Hose. EST legal analyst and guy who lays in bed with his shirt off and tickles his stomach when he's in need of a laugh. Eric Macramalla. Congratulations, Herbs Hose. You've won a gift certificate to A&W where you can get 2 sausage and eggers or 2 bacon and eggers for just $6 at all participating A&Ws. The Hangout is coming up next. Turn on autoplay over on YouTube. That'll take you right on over if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Small dose of Whale and the Wolf, and then the Hangout will begin on a game day as the Oilers take on the Minnesota Wild. I'll be back with the Lock Shop at 11. We'll have the Oil Stream today. Voice of Bako is going to be on to talk about Noah Philp. He'll be on around 12:30 with myself and Tommy. So that'll be fun. EST afternoons from 1 to 3, and then the Reed Wilkins Show from 3 until 6 today, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Apologize for those mid-show internet issues one more time. I'm going to try to get to the bottom of that one here today. The Nielsen Show is brought to you by South Ford Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Ford Chev. Visit their website, www.southfordchev.com. For YouTube, Trev and Brundon and Lieutenant Eric, I am Dustin Nielsen. I'll talk to you in a couple of hours. Take it easy.